Round number 10 of the Aston Martin career mode here today brings us to Canada for hopefully what should be a strong weekend for us. This track has always been a pretty good hunting ground for me in every single F1 game, so I'm hopeful that we can have a good weekend, especially after the last race, which if you haven't seen it, link in the top right, go check it out, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at Baku. Spoilers ahead, so this is your chance to click off because I'm going to talk about the last race. So yeah, we need to pretty much bounce back. The last race was a bit of a letdown. The race pace just wasn't there when I thought it would be, especially after last season, which was technically a worse car, yet somehow performed better last year, which I don't really understand. Anyway, we have an upgrade this weekend for tyre wear. We also add on another one for the DRS, which isn't a great upgrade to do, but it basically gets out of the way so that I can get, discounts on future upgrades on actual productive parts, which is what I'm looking for. That aside, we also have no rain forecast, and this weekend the big updates come from Alfa Romeo as they take a big step forward in the lower end of the midfield battle, and also Alpine actually get ahead of McLaren. So the field is just starting to kind of merge into one. There used to be like a 5 cars at the top, 5 at the bottom, kind of pack separation, but now they're all kind of merging, converging into one. Also, this weekend we're going to change our engine components. I try to stretch them out as much as I could, and we're going to change them now for, in some cases, some final parts, especially in the MGUH and also the energy store. So at some point we're going to have to take a penalty to take care of that down the line. But for now, we're going to focus on practice. Now, my suspicion or prediction is that we would have good pace around here, or at least decent pace, and my suspicion was correct. Car feels phenomenal around here. The upgrades are working. The car's getting better each race. Even though we're not progressing in the R&D chart, the car does feel better, and we're getting closer and closer. We smashed the programs out the park. We had decent pace. You can see the tyre wear actually really low, 0.92, which is a hell of a lot less than what I usually have. So that's quite encouraging for the race as well. We scored a big fat batch of R&D points and got a few discounts on some parts which are productive, some that are not. I'm going to have to at some point also do a bunch of durability upgrades just to kind of get them out of the way and get more discounts on productive upgrades, which is what I'm looking for. But yeah, for now we're going to jump into qualifying, Q1 more specifically. Can we make it out? I'm hopeful we can, because the practice pace looked good. We took a bit of an L in Baku after getting our first ever Q2 and Q3 in Monaco 2 races ago, so hopefully we can get back to kind of that level and have a decent weekend. So currently this is my first banker lap in qualifying. We're on a set of soft tyres and we're going to see whereabouts this puts us amongst the pack. Across the line, and it's P7 ahead of both Alpha Tauris actually, and the 1 minute 9.657. Not my best lap, there was a few mistakes and it wasn't a brilliant banker. I went for a second push lap and I found 3/4 of a tenth in sector 1 alone. I then lost that time through the chicane at 5 and 6. I try to keep on pushing, trying to improve, and we invalidate, and then follow that up with a spin out of the 7-8 chicane. So, yeah, not a great end to the first kind of qualifying run, but I know there's a bit of pace to find, definitely a 0.4, and, a 0.4 would get us amongst, Schumacher, Vettel in P11, P12, which is much more like it. For now, though, we're 16th, and we have to go out again and find some time. So, yeah, here we are. Another fresh set of tyres. I've got enough time and fuel for 2 laps if I need it. That's kind of the intention here, to kind of go for 2 laps, because tyre wear, as you saw, is low, so we can get away with a second attempt. So here we go. Up to turn 1. Could have taken way more inside curb there at the apex, but not exactly ideal. Exit out of 2 though was on point, and we find half a tenth. Now into the 3-4 chicane, throwing the car down, absolutely perfect. We find a load of time, and this was a really strong sector 1. Into now this left-right chicane where, of course, last time we lost a bit of time through here again. We also kind of followed up with a bit of lost time, losing about half a tenth through that sequence. Now into the right-left chicane, which is where we had the issue last time. As you can see, no troubles. Although no real time gained, I took it a bit safe. I was a little bit hesitant to, really commit through there. Into the hairpin though, on the brakes, staying nice and tight, and we do find a bit of time on initial turning, but then lose pretty much that gain on the exit. So for the most part, this lap, besides the improvement in sector 1, we haven't really found any time in sectors 2 or 3 so far. Final chicane though, I know there's a bit of time to find here. We throw the car in, not as much as I would have liked. The first one was a bit too deep and I compromised my own line and we actually lost time. So we improve, but we stay 16th with a 1 minute 9.5. Now, the AI went out and we're literally right at the back of the queue, so we're going to get one more chance here behind all the traffic to hopefully improve. So let's try one more time. Turn 1. This time, lots of inside curb. That's more like it. We stay nice and tight through 2, get the power down, and look at this. We're finding a load of time now as we're nearly a 10th up. Now into the 3-4 chicane, the checkered flag drops, and we invalidate when we absolutely smashed the first sector. That was really, really good. I kept on pushing, and we found even more time, and you can see the lap would have been a 1 minute 9.259, which would have got us through in P15. So yeah, disappointing. We could have got through, but I bottled it, made a mistake, and we paid the prices. We actually qualified last in the end as everybody else improved. So yeah, really not ideal, really not what I hoped for, and Stroll out qualifies us in this home Grand Prix. But to be fair, unlike Baku, we're much, much closer. The field is really tight now. You know, as I mentioned before on the performance chart, on the R&D graph, the field is kind of converging and just merging into one, and it's getting really tight, really competitive, and you don't know how it's going to go. Some races it could swing one way, some races it could swing another. So yeah guys, qualifying done, and we have work to do in the race. So let's turn it around and let's see if the race pace comes through.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Max Verstappen and Hamilton, Ricciardo, Norris, Ocon, and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Guan Yu Zhou and Vettel, Albon, Stroll, Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly. Martinez and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? A warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who is beside me in the commentary box today. Why don't we kick off by discussing Kevin Magnussen? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed, they'll be starting out of position today due to power unit component changes. It's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a much more aggressive approach today to make up for that compromised start.
So race time at the Canadian Grand Prix. No rain forecast, even though currently overcast conditions here today. P19, we've got pretty much a whole grid of cars ahead of us, so we're going to have to work to get back through. However, pace seems good. I think we've got a good race car, we've got good pace, and I'm feeling confident because qualifying didn't really tell the full story, so I think we can fight back in this one. So guys, leave a prediction down below in the comments. I want to see what you guys think where I can finish. I'm going to aim for a points finish. I think that's possible and achievable. As for the strategy, we're going to start on the medium, move on to the hard, a simple one stop, no big dramas and nothing really too surprising. Fuel-wise, 0.8 extra fuel. So yeah, we're going to jump into it and see if we can try and turn this around. Hopefully get some more points on the board. Here we go. Hopefully a decent race. Decent start. We're going to get on the inside, which is very valuable here. We'll take it a little bit cautiously into one, but we'll get the outside for two. Can we get Stroll? Yes, we can. We're going to cut right back to the inside to avoid getting dive bombed by my teammate. And now through the chicane, Vettel, Albon battling. We're going to look to get Alex, although we're now going to be stuck on the outside into the chicane. That'll give us the outside line, which is valuable. Albon's still there, as we're now going to get into a drag race. I don't think the straight line speed is too bad around here. I think we can compete. Slight bit of contact, but we'll get the inside line and keep Albon behind. Schumacher ahead, battling as Sebastian looks to get involved. I thought about going for the super distant lunge, but we'll try and fight back. Just saw some debris there, just flew over the back of my head. So something happened behind us. Anyway, could we have a look at Seb into the chicane? Forcing him defensive. The break nice and early. Seb will take a compromised line through there. May have got a warning in the process. No, we got away with it. And that's a textbook switch back there on the 4-time world champion. And we'll take the inside into 1 and lock that up. So P14, 5 places gained in the first lap. Very, very good start to the race. And another pace is going to be decent. So that's exactly what the doctor ordered here today. Let's try and keep at it. So Schumacher next, and then we're on to Tsunoda after that. Okay, Norris and I think Latifi. Side by side, Tsunoda now involved, making it 3 wide. This could get very, very, very spicy. So we'll just keep a keen eye. They're still 3 wide. They've managed to keep it going through the hairpin. Let's see what happens now into this final chicane. There's going to be a massive checkup. So we'll have to get the exit as they get 3 wide. Again, I'm going to get on the coast very early. And I'm going to take a very cautious approach, which will give us exactly what we want. And just like that, we leapfrog a bunch of cars.
We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Okay, just Lando remains. Not sure if you got any damage in that process. We'll find out now. Looks to be okay to me, to be fair. So we'll just stick behind Lando for now. But excellent bit of racecraft there. 200 IQ strats at the final chicane. And we'll clear a few cars and move into clean air. So let's get after it. Let's try and get into these points. Lando's got pretty decent pace. He's a good car to follow. Zhou up ahead on a soft tyre, so that won't last very long. Also, he's not in DRS, so he's starting to drop back. So right now, if we just clear Zhou and stay behind Norris, that puts us in a net P10. If we clear Lando, that's net P9. But our big question is, do we have the pace to catch the kind of leading group up ahead? That's what I want to try and find out. I think I'm going to pass Lando here. I've got a bit of pace to burn and a bit of battery. So we'll try and do the move we done on Seb. We'll set up the little cutback. Lando doesn't bite the bait. Can we get him into turn 1? Yes, we can. Happy days. And the field is just bunched up ahead of us, so that's great timing, as I think I can get within DRS now on the class ahead. Just tap back of Zhou there. Feel like he's really struggling. I might try and see if I can pass him, potentially into turn 1, unless he pits and basically lets me go into clean air. Let's find out. Does he pit? No, he doesn't. Perfect chicane. Right on the money. I want to try and go on the inside if I can. Outside moves in the AI scare me, especially into turn 1. In case they lock up, they're going to basically hit you on the side and give you floor damage or side pod damage. Obviously, if I have to go for it on the outside, I will, but if I can get the inside line, that's the ideal scenario. So we take a horrible corner car there. But anyway, we're looking pretty good now. I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Car feels great. There's no reason why we can't, you know, gain a few more places here. So let's see how the race pans out. Oh.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. There's a new strategy available on the MFT. Copy.
No one's retired from what I can tell. That's interesting. What tyres do I have? I've got a fresh medium and a fresh hard. I think we're going to go for... I've got a soft as well, but I don't really want to use that. I'll go for the hard tyre. And we'll leave our options open. We could go to the end or stop again if we have to.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
And we'll get a free pit box as well, as Lance is quite a way back as well, so we're not going to hinder either of our races. Follow Ocon in. Let's go for it. Let's try something different. This might give us an opportunity to bag a few extra points this race. Let's see. So hard tyres going on. Crucial that we get a good stop here. Great, really good stop. Back up behind Ocon, who's matched us up for strategy on tyres. Let's see if we can clear this big pack of traffic here. It's going to be close.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Traction was horrible there, let me down a bit, but we'll be just ahead of Magnussen behind Schumacher, so we're in the thick of it. Surprised Stroll didn't pit, to be fair, but let's see how this kind of alternate strategy goes. The whole pack will now bunch up and we'll get racing again. Safety car in this lap then. Here we go, back underway. Bit of a late call as the traffic that was catching up caught up at the last second, but we're back underway. And let's try and be smart about this. It's a long race. We're going to try and go to the end on these tyres.
Green flag.
We'll see how it pans out. We'll see how tyre wear also behaves. We'll get the tyre wear screen up and we'll see how these hard tyres hold up. I feel like we could actually maybe get a move here early doors. Schumacher with a moment there, but he's on mediums to be fair, although it's a used medium. Ocon's the one that we've kind of got to keep an eye on. Don't want to let him get too far away. He's putting pressure on Bottas actually, so there might be a move on here. Let's try and get Schumacher here. Just got to be careful with the braking as Ocon goes for a move himself. Nice and clean. Ocon through on Bottas. Can we make light work of the Alfa Romeo? Closing in. Alfa's got some serious straight line speed. Not the best chicane. Accidental early shift there, but we're going to have to go to the outside. Leaving plenty of room. Bottas has a slide. But we get it done. And we're through. Excellent pair of moves there just to stay with Ocon, who's now we need to watch out for. So lovely stuff. Let's keep it going. Not a lot happening right now, although I'll say that, literally a bit of too wide action ahead. But the pack was mostly intact. I feel like we're going to get some proper action once those who have to start to pit and the kind of field opens up a bit and spreads out. I feel like I've got some really good pace. I really do. So I'm just waiting in the wings, trying to be a little bit smart with the racecraft here. I'm waiting for an opportunity. Got a full charge of battery. I'm also trying to just, watch the tyre wear. This is a good chance, a good phase of the race to kind of manage the tyre wear, especially on the rear. And then once the kind of field starts to box over the next 2-3 laps, we can start to really push a bit and make things happen. So for now, just kind of managing a little bit. I'll only make a pass if I really feel like I've got the edge or I have to. Okay, cars are starting to pit. Here we go. Now this will have a bit of a trickle down effect, and now the race is going to start to open up. So let's see. We're currently P9. More cars to pit this lap.
Lance is in for his stop.
Albon without DRS is going to be extremely exposed. Now would be a good time to pass Ocon. So we'll try and look for the pass. That was excellent through that. We'll go straight through. Without even breaking a sweat. Nice move there. We'll wait to pass Albon on the back straight. Or maybe even the hairpin, to be fair. Albon getting all out of shape. You can see they're struggling massively for grip. We'll take that. Thank you. And I'll get the DRS. Perfect. Again, really effective pair of overtakes there at the right time. Now we'll see who else has to pit, and this will give us an idea as to what our net position is in this race. If we go to the end, of course, on these tyres, which is going to be the asterisk in all of this. Right, so P6 by the looks of it. Although Sainz, I think, has to pit. He's on mediums. Looking great so far. Very happy with this. Sainz going for the move on Norris. And actually Norris pits, so still a few cars yet to pit. So make that net P5. And we're now going to be in DRS range of Carlos Sainz. So we're cooking, man. I think that stop is a great choice. The question is, can we get the tyres to the end? So far, looking at tyre wear, I think we're looking pretty decent. So let's see if it's the right choice. Didn't quite get DRS on Sainz at any point in that lap. I've been pushing like crazy. I've used all the battery. hopefully this lap we can get it, and then we can sit behind. I've got the pace to keep up with these two, so just need to try and make sure I get the DRS. Which I think I will achieve this lap. I just nailed the chicane, which we do perfectly. There we go. And we've also dropped Ocon easily. Purple sector 1. We've got some pace, man. This hard tire is actually great. We're stronger on this than we was in the medium. But now we can relax and recharge the battery a bit. Sainz looking for the move on Checo. Clearly he's got a bit more pace in that fresh medium. Checo not as fast in that hard tyre. So we can probably match up against Checo a bit better and just sit behind him. What are the front two doing? A little bit far away. I don't have that sort of pace, but we'll let Sainz cook. We'll let him get in front. I'm happy to sit here and basically, you know, recharge. We're in a great position. I'd finish, you know, happily P5, but I think we can actually get a podium here. Sainz has to stop again. I'm not sure what tyres the front two are on either, to be fair, so watch this space.
The track is clear, green flag.
Yellow behind. That could be interesting. I could throw a spanner in the works. It's one of the Williams or the Alpines by the looks of it. We'll wait for confirmation, but if that triggers the safety car, that could change this race. That would be a very tough decision to make. No confirmation yet on the retirement. There we go, Latifi.
Some information on Latifi. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Also got nothing to worry about, which is perfect. I don't want a safety car now. I'm happy with this strategy, so yeah, let's stick with it. And there we go, Sainz into the pit lane. Front two still staying out. Leclerc's on hard. I'm assuming the Merc's probably on hard as well. So net P4 is what it looks like. So could we nick a podium off Checo? I think I can keep up. I mean, I was doing it when he had DRS on Leclerc. So now that he doesn't have DRS, that task should become a bit easier. So let's see. 13 laps to go. Still a bit to kind of, you know, get through before we start making decisions. We've got another yellow. Bottas out the race. Again though, we get lucky, no safety car. Happy with that. That's exactly what we want. Personal best. Purple sector 3. And the fastest lap was at 11.0 by Sainz just now. We are fully reliant on this DRS though. Without it I wouldn't have the pace, but we're sitting here and it's working and we're cooking, man. So we'll see if I can have a look at Checo at some point. At the minute I can't quite get close enough. He's got really good pace. We are closing in a little bit on Leclerc and Mercedes. I'm going to guess it's Hamilton, just my guess, but we're closing in a little bit. Moment there for Checo. Big moment, and we're going to look to capitalise. We'll get the DRS as well for good measure. Easy move up the inside. Checo never closed the door, so let's see, 2 laps to go. We'll use all the battery, especially on this next lap, to try and break DRS with Checo, and we'll see if we can pull away. So let's get to it.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
That chicane was perfect. We could actually maybe nick the fastest lap here, if I can nail the chicane and use all the battery. I'll do. Don't think I've got enough though. I think I might just fall short. Yeah, not quite. A 10.9 is what Sainz did. I was half a second up out the hairpin, but the lack of DRS has made a difference. Anyway, let's bring her home. Right then, here we go. Podium number 3 of the season. We've now had 2 second places and a 3rd place. The only thing that's missing is the W. That's the only thing that we need to secure in this series. But there we go, through the final chicane. Russell the winner, looking very strong. Leclerc second, we finish P3.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
So another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team strategies. They got all those things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Now guys, I will try to remember to put particles on so that when we actually step on the podium we get to see some champagne spray. But for now, let's talk about the results. Russell, the winner here today, looking very strong. Mercedes are improving and getting stronger, and Russell seems to be very impressive. Leclerc, second place, couldn't really lay a glove on George at any point today. We finished in third, and to be fair, could have almost got a fast lap, but Sainz on the last lap got a 0.7, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Ocon scores points for Alpine, and also double points finish for Tsunoda and Gasly in both AlphaTauris. Ricciardo scores the final point, and then both Williams out the top 10, along with also our teammate Stroll in P17, and also Bottas, Latifi out the race. So standings-wise, up to 7th, we overtake Hamilton, and we're slowly but surely just climbing bit by bit, making that progress. I still kind of rue the fact that we had some great results that we got taken away, especially in Miami. That still hurts. But yeah, besides that, we're making slow but definite progress. In the Constructors, up to 5th again, this time ahead of Haas with a bit of breathing room as we're 13 points ahead. So very happy with that. And to be fair, McLaren aren't a million miles away. If we can try to string together a few decent results and some upgrades, we could make a push. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that result and that comeback. P19 to P3, that deserves a like and a subscription if I'm not mistaken. So feel free to support the channel, guys, as always. A big shout out to the members for supporting me as always as well on the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care, and let's goodbye from me.